Alright, y'all, so y'all know what time it is. Time to get into another group dynamics video. Hey, another group dynamics video. Hey, y'all know what time it is. Be right here. I know, I'm right here. Love is gonna be. Go ahead, y'all. Boy, I'm so into you. Come on, y'all know the mix. Gotta don't know what I'm gonna do. Y'all know they got hit work. Oh, boy, you got. Go ahead, y'all. Ooh. Just rain down. Mm-hmm. Messing up you. Hey. You're the one for me. Hey. You can go. Hey. All I want is to be. Come on, y'all. Cause you know. Hey. I know that. Alright, y'all. Hey, they got hit work. Y'all know I gotta give it to y'all. Y'all know I got to. Last one. Sing it with me if you know it. Sing it with me if you know it. I guess so. You can go ahead. I look like a job. Hey, I hear you. Oh, and you look so. Alright, y'all, I'm done. So, y'all already know. I done went through the hits, so you know what time it is. We gonna get into that SWV group dynamics, so come on with it. Alright, so off the bat, you know, you got 3 members of the group. We got Coko, the lead singer, born June 13th in 1970, and that will make her a Gemini. We have Taj, born April 29th, 1971, and that will make her a Taurus. And then we have LeLee, born July 17th, 1973, and that would make her a Cancer. So let's get into it. Alright, so you know what time it is. So since LeLee was the one who started the group, we'll start with her. So with LeLee being born July 17th in 1973, that would make her the baby of the group. And so that's the first role that we can establish. She's the baby of the group, and she's a water sign, so that'll suit her just fine. You know, she'll get that attention that she wants. She'll get that emotional nurturing that she wants, because she's the baby of the group, so that'll work for her. Now, what do we know about Cancer? We know that Cancer, like I said, is a water sign, so we know that she will be ruled by her emotions. Her emotions will be very important to her. We also know that Cancer is in the first half of the zodiac, so we know that she's going to be concerned with her own emotions, how she feels about things, how you make her feel. She's going to be a very subjective person. Objectivity is going to be hard for her at times, so a lot of the times, like I said, she'll be emotionally invested in things, and she'll look at things from a personal perspective, even when it has to do with business. Now, Cancer is also a cardinal sign, so people often forget that about Cancer. Cancer is like the start shit. It is what it is. Cancer get things going. That's what cardinal signs are about, so they're going to get things started. So it makes sense that she would be the one who even had the idea to even start a group. She was raised around music, and everyone in her family played an instrument. I believe she said the piano, and then she wanted to sing, so she's the one who even wanted to start a group. So with that cardinal energy, that's going to make her put it out there. That's going to make her go out there and actually get it started, you feel me, versus somebody who would just sit around and talk about it or think about it or dream about it. No, she's going to go out and try to get it started. She's going to be the first one to tell you about it. She's going to be the first one to find somebody to join up with her. So when she has the idea, she's not going to sit on it, you feel me? Like maybe a fixed sign would, and she's not going to be too all over the place and not able to bring it together like maybe a mutable sign will. This is going to give her that spark. This is going to give her that energy to go out and get it started. So once she established that she wanted to be musically inclined or what have you, and she wanted to be in a group, that's when she went out, and I believe the first member she got was Coko. So she knew Coko could sing. So that cardinal in her, she put it out there, you feel me? Whereas that emotional side, that water side, may have held it closer and been more emotionally attached to it. That cardinal is going to make her put it out there. You see what I'm saying? She's going to put her feelings out there. She's going to make it known. That's why, like, even though Cancers are emotional, like, you know how they feel about it. You see what I'm saying? They're going to put it out there. You feel me? That's that cardinal. They're going to take action. You feel me? Make a Cancer feel some type of way. They will act on that ass. Don't let that passive shit fool you. When a Cancer get active, it Cancer's petty too with it. So we know that Cancer is a cardinal sign, and we know that Cancer is a water sign. Now Cancer is also, and you got to keep this in mind as well, Cancer is also ruled by the moon. So what do you know about the moon? The moon is all about the emotions. The moon is your internal world. The moon is your internal self. The moon is your comfort zone. You know what I like to say? The moon is your comfort zone. So these are things you're going to be comfortable with. This is what you're used to. This is what you're raised around. That's what the moon is centered around. So these are the things that make you feel good. You know what I mean? They make you feel good. But not in that Venus way where it's just a pleasure. These are the things that provide you with that emotional security. You feel me? Not just necessarily pleasures. This is that emotional security. These are the things that make you feel fulfilled. You see what I'm saying? Being with Cancer being ruled by the moon, we know that they're going to have to feel a way about something. They're going to have to feel. It's going to have to hit them in a personal way. You know what I mean? In order for them to even act on it, it's going to have to be close to them. You see what I'm saying? Everything they do is going to be close to them. When they go out into the world, they're going to try to bring people close to them. They're going to put their emotions out there. Remember that cardinal thing. They're going to try to initiate that family aspect. They're going to try to initiate that nurturing aspect. They're going to want to take care of people and things like that. They're going to want to build that family unit, build that emotional security, like I'm saying, build that foundation, but not necessarily in that Capricorn way where it's a material and it's like actual things you can touch. Get this house, get this car, make sure we have these actual, it's that emotional security. Make sure you build that nest around you. Make sure you build that comfort around you where you have that emotional support and that stability that you can work from. That's what the Cancer is about. So trust and believe, when she started this group, she wasn't building it to fail, you know, she wasn't building it, you know what I mean, just to be doing it. She had an emotional connection to it. She really felt that way, you feel me? She really felt like this was her family, you feel me? This is just an extension of a family. You always have to remember that dealing with Cancer. This is the family. You know what I'm saying? This is a family. I told you that. I believe that was the Wendy Williams video. Go check out that Wendy Williams son in Cancer if you want to know some more about Cancer. But we always have to remember they're always building that emotional security, that emotional support, and they always have those emotional ties to the people, places, and things around them. They always be subjective, and they always look at how things affect them personally and their personal security. Remember, this is still the first half. Even though they're nurturing, even though they like to give, they're doing it. You see, they're doing it with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? They're doing it with a purpose. It ain't just because they just love you so much, even though it may come off that way. No, they're doing. They need something from you. They need that support. They need that. They just don't need necessarily the material things. They're not necessarily looking to you for that, but they need something from you. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? They need you to be there. They need you to hold them down. They need you, I mean, to just deal with all of their ups and downs and emotions and moodiness and all of that. Now, if you watched the show that they had recently with Salt and Pepper, you saw that LeLee was more of the nurturer in the group. That was really her role. So when Coko was going off and she was feeling some type of way and do whatever, she would cater to her and kind of, you know, cave to her will at times, you know what I mean, just to serve the best interests of the group. Where Taj, the fixed sign, the Taurus, was like, nah, bro, let her feel as you want to feel. Nobody cares. She do that all the time. Like, let her go to her. Like, LeLee was more so, she was more supportive, more emotionally comforting, more trying to figure out what's wrong, hugging her, you know what I mean? Are you okay? All of that. That's that Cancer. So LeLee is always going to bring that mothering, nurturing, family, familial, emotional support to the group. So you're always going to feel like she's there for you, and she's going to be there for you. You're never going to feel like, you know, you have to question where her feelings lie, whether she wants to be there or not, or anything like that. You feel me? When she was there, she was there. But like I said, she also has the propensity to take things personally at all times, and, you know, not necessarily have the best communication. This isn't air, this is water, you know. So when you take a lot of things personally, you aren't necessarily able to communicate all of the feelings that you're feeling, even though they will put it out there. Sometimes it's in a passive aggressive way. Sometimes they'll just shut down on you. Sometimes they'll pinch you. You know what I mean? This is the crab, but it's like sometimes you just need to put it in the air. And she probably wasn't able to do that when she needed to, and that contributed to, you know, how she ended up, because she ended up being the first one to actually leave the group. We'll get into that later, but that contributed to that. So next we got Coko, and Coko is the oldest member of the group. Coko was born June 13, 1970. So that would make her a Gemini. So what do we know about Gemini? Coko is also the lead singer. She's probably the most well-known one. So if you don't know anyone else in the group, that's probably the one who you know. You feel me? You remember she had them long ass nails. Remember Gemini rules the hands. You remember she had them nails. She was known for her hands. That's that Gemini. You feel me? But what do we know about Gemini? We know that Gemini is ruled by Mercury. What do we know about Mercury? We know that Mercury is a fast planet. It's all about speed. We know that Mercury likes to put the pieces together, pieces to the puzzle together. Mercury likes to figure things out. That's what Mercury is all about. Mercury is about the details, you feel me? Mercury is not necessarily about the bigger picture. This is the small, finite details. This is putting the pieces to the puzzle together. That's what Mercury is all about. And this is quick. So always remember that. So, and Gemini is also an air sign. So with Gemini being an air sign, we know that they're going to love to communicate. We know that they're going to have a bunch of ideas. We know that they're going to like to, always have somebody to bounce their air off of. Always have a new idea. Always like to talk. Always like to, be the messenger. Like to spread the message, whatever that message is. Now, you also have to remember that Gemini is also in the first half of the zodiac, so they're going to be concerned with self. They need that foundation for self prior to, proceeding to concern themselves with others. You know what I say about the first half. They need that they have to get that. I got to get myself straight. Let me get myself straight. That's the first half. Let me get me right, then I'll worry about you. Whereas the second half of the zodiac, more likes to communicate with others, likes to concern themselves with others, like to think of what's going to be good for the greater, the greater good, what's going to be good for the whole, what's going to be good for me and you, those type of things. First half doesn't concern themselves with that. They're worried about, let me get me right first, then I'll worry about you. This doesn't mean that they can't care about others, but they have to make sure they're secure first. So with that Mercury and that communication factor, we know that she's going to have, she's going to be fast out the mouth. She's going to be quick out the mouth. She's going to be witty. She's going to talk to a bunch of different people. She's not going to be necessarily shy, because remember, she's not concerned with what you think. You feel me? She's concerned with her ideas and what she thinks. So she's going to put those out there. You feel me? She's going to be, and it's going to be quick. It's going to be fast. She's going to be doing this with a bunch of different people, with a bunch of different ideas, a bunch of different messages. You know what I mean? Communicating and connecting with a bunch of different people. You feel me? And not necessarily a deep connection. This could be very superficial. This could be very on the surface, and this could be just as a source of information, because remember that air aspect, they love that information. So they're going to take in a bunch of information, they're going to spread a bunch of information, whether or not this information is accurate. But that's the idea they have right now. That's the information that they have. So that's the information that they're going to share. And then if they get some feedback, or if they get some other information, then they'll go with that. You feel me? This is a mutable sign as well, so they're able to change. So they're not necessarily going to stick with that initial thought, that initial idea, that initial form of communication. They're always going to be changing. They're always going to be moving. They're always going to be adapting to the situation. Remember what I say about mutable signs. They get in where they fit in, period. So even the way Coko got in the group, even though she had the voice and she was able to sing, she wasn't really concerned with, at starting a group or getting anything started. She just got in where she fit in. LeLee brought this idea to her. Okay, I'm the voice. I can sing. I know I got talent. So cool. Let's get it. Yeah, hey, let's get it. Let me get in where I fit in. You already got the foundation. You already getting it started. You already taking care of those aspects. I just got to do what I do anyways. All I got to do is create, communicate, and put my voice, and let my voice be heard. You know what Gemini love? What I tell you in the lab, Geminis need their voice to be heard. Oh, you just need me to put my, okay, bet. Sound like a win to me. Plus, remember that air, so she already wants to communicate. She naturally wants to communicate. She naturally wants to have someone around to bounce ideas off of. They naturally love that inner community. Remember, Gemini rule that third house is going to be your surroundings, your immediate community. So they love that type of stuff. So they're always going to like to have people around and people to bounce ideas off of, communicate with, pick up different information, exchange different information. You know what I mean? They love that aspect. So being a part of a group, she can get that from the group. So that's going to also appeal to her. You see what I'm saying? And then she don't have to start it. She don't have to go out and get nobody. She do this. She just got to get in where she fit in. Oh yeah, and my voice get to be heard. Oh yeah, run it. And then she's the oldest and she's the lead, so it's just like, oh, okay, then yeah, I like this. So I'm okay. I'm the big boss. I'm the boss around here. You know what I mean? Top dog. Even though she probably wouldn't say it like that. You know what I mean? She probably didn't express it like that, but it is what it is. It kind of fit right in, like, you feel me? Whereas she may have felt some type of way, you feel me, if she had came in and she had to be up under somebody and she the oldest and she got to work up under somebody, and then you got that Gemini that also wants to, you know what I mean, implement their ideas. And like I told you, their voice has to be heard, and it's easier for her voice to be heard as a lead. So that issue, which we saw saw in the 702, that issue where their voice wasn't being heard didn't become an issue because her voice was in the front, so she was cool, you feel me, for the most part. But they got into some whole other issues. But as far as that issue of her voice not being heard, or her feeling like second in line, or her feeling like I said, her voice wasn't being valued, what she had to offer wasn't being valued, she didn't have that issue that we saw in the last one, you feel me? Just do a little comparison just to help y'all out, you feel? Coko also developed a reputation for like, just saying what you want to say, doing what you want to do, have an attitude problem, air sign. Air sign stuff, have an attitude problem, saying what you want to do, doing what you want to do, and that mutability, she could just go whichever change in the drop of a hat and probably give a commitment to something and not do it. Show up late, do it. It is what it is. It is what it is, because she's air, so she's already all over the place, and then you're adding that mutability, so you move, you air, you already scatterbrained, and then you all over the place, moving and shaking and trying to get in where you fit in, and then sometimes stuff get lost in the shuffle. Straight up. And then you so consumed with your own thoughts and ideas and your forms of communication, you're not even considering how you're affecting the lives of the people surrounding you. You see what I'm saying? That's where Gemini can get in trouble, and that's where Coko started to get in trouble with her group members, because she wasn't necessarily considering them. She's just thinking about, remember that first half of Zodiac, thinking about the self, thinking about how she's going to be felt, how she's going to be received, how her voice is going to be heard, as opposed to how her group members may be feeling, or how, you know what I mean? She's concerned with all the work she has to do and all of that, and not necessarily using that air to communicate with her group effectively, which she should have. You see what I'm saying? But that mutability gave her. Now, maybe if it was a Libra with that cardinal energy, she may have took that initiative to talk to her group. With that being mutable energy, she's just going to get out of there. You see what I'm saying? She's going to move around. She's not going to necessarily feel the need to want to have that one-on-one with you and talk to you, or not anything like that. She's going to, just, like I said, move and shake. We'll go to another place where her voice can be heard even louder. You see what I'm saying? Alright, so that was part 1 of your SWV group dynamics video. So we got to get in there, we got to look at LeLee, get into the Cancer, get into some of that cardinal energy, see how she was able to get the group started, and she's able to provide that support. And then we got to look at the lead singer Coko, and we got to see how that mutable energy, was able to serve her in ways and also worked against her way. But at the end of the day, her voice will be heard, so it is what it is. So, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you kick back with part 2. Let me know what you think down below. Come on with it.